Alright, we have another new chapter of the new Kurosawa. This one is titled Wabi Sabi, which is a word that has been, or a term that has been thrown around a lot in the last kind of arc, as these two brash, obnoxious American brothers have come to Japan hoping to have that experience, hoping to see and do things that evoke the sensation of wabi sabi in their hearts. They have gone all the way out to the mountains to this rustic restaurant set up specifically for this meeting, led by the Japanese ambassador, who welcomes them. I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart that you've come to this place deep in the mountains. As we are in the mountains, we are unable to provide significant hospitality. Even so, we are honored to prepare. So here we see the sitting set up for the meal. I like that everyone but the Gas brothers are sitting Seiza and Kurosawa. Kurosawa also not sitting Seiza. And very, almost foreshadowing, perhaps, things that Kurosawa is going to be able to do during this event, during this meeting, that the others probably have too much restraint. At any rate, honored to prepare a humble meal for you. It's Japan, that extreme groveling is just great. It's long to bring us here, but you say you can't do anything special. How is that even possible? It's so roundabout that I'm getting chills. It's so roundabout that I'm getting chills. I kind of get what he means. I don't want to feel like I'm supporting his bizarre fetishization of Japan, but in a certain sense, there's like, how do I put this? Like, think about it. They're taken all the way to this restaurant deep within the mountains. They're given the fireworks show. They know that the restaurant has been set up just for them. That's already just an extreme, absurd amount of hospitality. And yet, in that moment, there is no gloating. There is no boasting from the Japanese side. There is just a further humbling and a further long route around to the next stage, like to the next thing they're doing. There's kind of a dismantling of the cinematic process of the kind of an idea that you'll be just kind of swept up in the proceedings and kind of unaware of the true value of what's being shown to you. So this is like a deliberate breaking from that hypnosis to acknowledge all of the shortcomings and to directly prepare you for what comes next. I think that's quite interesting. An anti-cinematic style. And we've talked about this in the context of Fukumoto comics before, that he as well seems to want to do this, to prefer a direct and complete conveyance of an interesting story and all of the interesting psychology and characterization behind that, rather than just kind of sweep you up in an experience. Deliberate immersion breaking structuring or things like that. These seem to be things that he goes back to too. So I don't know. All right, anyways, let's just move on a bit. If I talk at this length about everything that's happening, this is going to be an hour-long video. I'm quite unconfident. Let's start with this. Hope you indulge in the rustic flavor. Ooh, a nice bottle of liquor. Wabi Sabi. Any Japanese person will recognize it. High-class food in a long wooden box. It's Castella. What is Castella? Ooh, it's a nice long cake. Cool, cool. But no. I think it's liquor, isn't it? It's main dish. Oh. What? He says it in English, I'm assuming. What is it? In order to protect the food from the damage and excess humidity, we use sawdust. Pain in the ass for no reason. I like it. I don't think it's for no reason, but sure. What's in there? In Suyama, where it is grown, a few high-quality standout reaches length and thickness. Jinenjo, a yam. Let's look up the Jinenjo. It's a type of mountain yam. Is this a high-class ingredient? I don't know. Doesn't seem like the Wikipedia article makes that big a deal about it, but sure. It is a yam. Along with this yam, I will add this egg. Making soba, perhaps? The Wikipedia article said that soba is a common product made from this type of yam. Produced by free-range silky chickens in the Kumamoto Prefecture. Golden egg full of vitamins and minerals, a true shooting star. So before eating this, it's rice. Correct. This is Sasa Hikari rice, which was grown while Mozart was played. It's placed on a plate as so. They played Mozart in the fields? Is that what he means? That seems dumb. That's not going to do anything. Silky chickens, though, I do know about those. It's like a really luxurious chicken. It's so foie. And you see the black ones quite often, too. The black ones are, like, really black. Okay, anyways. Expert artisan then assembles a selection of only the best well-formed grains of rice, which are then cooked. The grains are completely uniform. They will be heated evenly and thus cooked very... Mr. Gas objects. Hold on just a sec. We're gonna have to do all that now? Already been made. Highest quality red beans and 3 types of millet. Kurosawa is confused. I think he's confused because so far, aside from these kind of stories and explanations, this is all really cheap food. I think these yams are cheap. I think this egg it's just an egg, and this is just rice. Mixing it with barley, beans, and millet, none of that is actually high class. None of that is super refined. Are they perhaps trying to pull one over? It's mixed with other grains, and what's the point? Why are they making all the rice all the same? The ultimate, most beautiful, most valuable multigrain rice, Japan's awakening. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that. It seems like they're trying to aim for some sort of like rustic type food, though, is what I'm saying. There's nothing really super luxurious in terms of how it'll taste yet. No matter a conservative estimate, a single bowl will cost no less than 30,000 yen. It's one hell of an awakening. Of course, with that price tag, most Japanese will be unable to think that plain rice would cost so much. No beef, or pork, or salmon roe, or anything. Just rice. Jesus Christ. And there they're grating the yam. It's gotta be a mistake. Oh, Kurosawa. Go ahead and enjoy the ultimate egg, the ultimate yam, the ultimate egg, the ultimate multigrain rice. The blissful harmony when all three come together is a flavor that will take you to heaven. A subtle masterpiece of wabi-sabi. It's potato shake and bake. It's just potato shake and bake. Taste of egg and yam rice in a remote mountain village is a flavor that can make one's soul melt. The great poet Matsuo Basho may once have said that. He may have. Man, this ambassador, it's pretty good. He's really getting them. Give it a shot. Then I add the egg. He wants to add the egg himself. Okay, there it is. Can you... Separating the whites and the yolks is an impossible task. Well, you can do it. You just need to crack the egg carefully, and then you can pass the yolk back and forth between the two halves. And each time try to like cut away the white a little bit, and then the yolk becomes quite disjoint. I've gotten good at it after making a lot of meringue dishes. Separating the whites and the yolks is an impossible task. Both of them go in. The sawdust stuck on the shell goes in too. Don't do that. At least pick out the sawdust. He's just mixing it all together. He just wants soy sauce too? Oh my gosh. Can this brash American truly appreciate such a subtle flavor? Will he be able to have his soul melt, as the poet suggests? How is it, bro? It's really good multigrain rice. But the texture is all scratchy. It's the sawdust. It's the sawdust. I like that everyone is horrified. It's not just Kurosawa that's freaking out. Of course, we only see Kurosawa's thoughts because he's the main character. But everyone is just aghast and has no idea how to stop what they're seeing. No idea what they can possibly say or do to stop these dumb Americans from eating more sawdust. We'll try it too. Really? Our brothers, the bad manners just keep ruining everything. It's scratchy, a real natural texture. the ambassador just collapses. Oh boy. No shit. But well, impossible from the start. It's impossible for those brothers to taste such subtle flavors. Have to be Japanese to appreciate it. Woo! So Kurosawa gets to eat it too. Yeah, yeah. This will be nice for him. It's been a while since he's had a real nice sensory experience. His days are mostly marked by poverty and tedium. So this will be good. And he'll prepare it properly. It's a nice little instruction to us. Goes in the small bowl, and you put it into the yam and rice. Just enough soy sauce, then shake. So he does add a little bit of soy sauce. I wasn't sure if that was kosher or not. It's done. So this is the blissful egg and yam rice that can melt your soul. Ooh. Not so good? Not so good? How do I put it? Ordinary. It's supremely ordinary. My tends to taste as dull, but it just tastes like your average yam rice. Brutally honest. It's not enough. Seriously, though. So pretty. Okay, so they got more. They got more. This was just like the warm-up, I guess. There's still more. But Kurosawa and the Americans have kind of arrived at a similar point through different means. The Americans, of course, somewhat disappointed that it's just potato shake and bake. Kurosawa, who's seeing his tax dollars just melting away at this extravagance put forth by the Japanese government, also thinks they ought to be getting a little more for their money. If that was a $300 bowl of rice, he's not feeling it. He doesn't think that's better than 300 individual egg and rice dishes that you can make yourself. Thought this might happen, so here's some sukiyaki. There's no rules here. Yeah, there's not too much wabi-sabi about sukiyaki. Sukiyaki, I think of as like some of the most like blatantly luxurious type of foods, because it's all just the highest class, the highest tastiest ingredients you can have, simmering in a pretty standard broth. And also sushi, tempura. Oh, that looks good. Ooh, doesn't that look good? That's great too. So this is how it goes. Suddenly they're loving it. It was just that easy. They didn't care about wabi-sabi. They didn't care about subtlety and about a poetic sense that will melt your soul. And to be perfectly honest, as much as I'd like to think that I could appreciate that perfect bowl of yam, egg, and rice, I'd like to think I could appreciate it. But I'd still rather eat the sukiyaki and the sushi and the tempura because those are all so delicious. Is this all uni? In the bottom row of the sushi dish? Is that uni? You telling me they got that much uni? God damn, I want uni. Oh, I love uni so much. Of course, it would have been better to do this from the very start. Shown it. In Japan, there are two giants. One in Nara and Kamakura. Oh, the giant Buddhas. Yes, I've seen the one in Nara before. East and West. There's no way that the two of them get along. Unsure what he means by this. Why wouldn't they get along? It's two depictions of the same person. Which one of them would win in a fight? Oh my gosh. Master Shonen's eyes are glazing over again. You answer. You are more familiar with such things, are you not? Oh, Kurosawa. Oh. Fight, you mean like the grappling you were doing earlier? Just say something. I think this one is easy. This one is surprisingly free. You just say anything, because they obviously don't really know or care what's going on. And at this point, trying to retain the dignity of this whole situation is so obviously failed. Has failed from so long ago. Just say the one in Nara. It doesn't matter. Expect the strongest great Buddha. Nara, Kamakuro. Which one's bigger again? Pretty sure it's the one in Nara. Oh, but he has an idea. What's he gonna say? That case, gasoline cast recently is a really strong one in Ushiko. Oh, I didn't know that. Ushiku's got a new gigantic Buddha. So we get serious if he went all out. Ushiku. Don't know that one. Look it up later. If I have to answer, then whatever. Yeah, exactly. Just let things go smoothly whenever possible. Just say what you think they might want to hear whenever possible. That was actually a really good answer. It showed that you were thinking about it, and it gave them some new information they could be excited about themselves. Of Japanese great monks, there's Kukai, Honen, and Shinran. Of those three, who would win in a fight? That's all they care about. Just these fights. They wouldn't fight. They wouldn't fight. Not Kukai, not Honen, not Shinran, not the great Buddhas. None of them would fight. The monks have had enough of this inane questioning. But that's probably why they were brought there in the first place. Is because the Americans wanted to ask questions like that. So it's kind of like you just gotta. It's already too late. It's clearly already too late. Just curious, but okay. This question. Currently, major powers in their egoism are asserting their claim on the rights to their territorial lands and waters. As a result, the world's peace and safety are being threatened. What needs to be done to resolve this situation, Mr. Shonen? Hey, that's a real good question. And it is something that is becoming more and more prominent, especially with global warming happening. As more areas become uninhabitable, and then other areas, like a lot of Arctic sea ice, is melting for the first time, like, ever in modern civilization. And people are seeing this as opportunities for new trade routes, new establishments, new infrastructure, things like this. So it's like suddenly there's kind of more land up for grab. There's more land that perhaps no one wants. People are kind of running out of space in general. Places with natural resources are becoming fewer and fewer. What's to be done? What's to be done? Can we really go on as we have in the old days of might makes right? That whatever country is willing to occupy it militarily is the de facto owner of that island and no one can say otherwise? Or is this the spur we need to start thinking more globally, more about humanity in general, and kind of do away with this sort of ownership in the first place? It's a very interesting discussion to be had, and it's one that presses down upon us with each successive year. Everyone is shocked. The monks are shocked. What an intelligent question, suddenly. Suddenly a normal question. In Japan, we say, taru oshiru, knowing what is enough. That is all that what all the countries need. Yeah. That's a good answer. The important thing is knowing this is enough. This is all I need. Don't need to just endlessly expand. I don't need to want for the sake of wanting. This here is enough. How wise. Taru Oshiru? That's Master Shonen for you. That's exactly right. If everyone felt that way, world peace might happen. Oh, what? Look at this lovely image of people of different races and nationalities embracing each other. Lovely, lovely. An eternal peace on earth. Oh, how lovely. See, it must have quite the effect of power. That's great. Taru Oshiru. I think he's misunderstood something. Say it has an effect of power. I think he thinks it's some sort of weapon. Mr. Shonen. What kind of woman is that? Yeah. So really, he just wanted how will they win the fights militarily. He was still thinking about fights in the end. All the countries are going to fight. Who will win? It's not a freaking weapon. Mr. Shonen. Coconut, do something. No. I'm out. I'm out. The reception continues. Oh, what a lovely arc. This is so crazy. I'm really, really glad the series is back. I can't wait to read more. Yeah, thanks as always to Fukumoto Crazy for bringing this and other great Fukumoto works to our attention. So good. Okay, let's look forward to more.